Hi there, thank you for joining us today. Typically during this season, we would have had a quarterly conference where we go over the business of the church and sort of update the church on where things are. And because we're not meeting, we needed to do that anyway. And so we thought we would share some of that with you today via video. And so that's why we're here. I want you to know that the attendance, the views on our services have just been tremendous. The response has been overwhelming.
Very invested. Yeah. Everyone's very invested in them, and maybe getting more out of the services than they do when they come in and sit in person.
You can pause and rewind and all those sorts of things. Yeah, it's really good.
It's been really good, and you've responded so well back, and that's helped us to know that you are engaged and how your family's engaged. But people, I'm going to say this: I'm not shocked, but I am surprised at the level of engagement that we've had. It's been amazing, and financially it's been good.
Yeah, it's very encouraging to our staff. The guys that make this happen every week, it's a different task for them. It's a different workload for them, but they have just responded so well, and we're putting together I think one of the best online services.
Oh, there's no doubt
that you can find.
Keith, our media team, they've invested their lives in trying to find ways to do that effectively. And you've invested, whether you know it or not, in the equipment that makes this happen, because it takes the right kind of equipment, the lighting, and all of the technical to make this happen. And so they've had those tools. But beyond that, what our ministry staff has done. How many calls do you think Tommy's made over the past few weeks here?
In a month, he has already called every senior adult on our roll, every single one.
And so we're getting a lot of contacts, but beyond that, each one of those areas, I saw Tamara's video last night. Brian's got a new one out for children. The parents tell me that the children are responding to these videos like it's a TV show. He's the new Mr. Rogers.
There you go.
I got that going on. Jim's doing Zoom meetings, and Bro's doing Zoom meetings. Jason doing Zoom meetings with the students. Our Sunday school classes are doing Zoom meetings, and they are really engaged in those and active in those. What was going to be such a tragedy and has really turned out into a blessing in many ways. Yeah, it's been really good.
Yep.
Well, what's happened over the past quarter?
So typically we would go through a church clerk report, and so our quarter was kind of cut short. It was mid-March when all this started to unfold, and so we had a connection class in January, we had a connection class in February, and out of those classes we had a total of 32 people that joined the church. 4 of those were by baptism, 14 were by letter, and 14 were by statement.
That's fantastic.
So still a great quarter, even though we haven't met for the last half of March. Financially, we're actually doing pretty well. We're down at the end of March. We were down about $20,000 compared to our expenditures, and our budget was behind by almost $90,000. So we're still behind in budget receipts. But the church has really responded well in our weekly giving. And 3 of those 5 Sundays we've made budget, and so our expenses are a little bit more reduced because we don't have a lot going on campus. And so overall, we're in a very good position, but we do remain cautious because this could go on for some time, and we just don't know. And so we want to remain cautious.
It's important, and I know for some people not coming on a Sunday, you don't pull your checkbook out or you don't go online and think about it as much, but that, of course, is important to everything that we're doing, and that includes the light bill, that includes the staff, that includes, and as I was talking about staff a moment ago, I don't know when I've seen them working harder. This has been a time where you may be kind of out of work, but they're not. They're really having to put some hours in to get some things done, and so that's been great. But I challenge you to continue to be faithful to that. It's important that we maintain as much of the budget as we can to be able to maintain our missions and our outreach and upcoming events that are going to be occurring.
Yeah.
Our summer is a very heavy weighted time in programming, rather light sometimes in finances. We're facing a time that we really need to be faithful in that.
Absolutely. Let me update you on some ministry that's sort of developed out of this crisis, and that is our feeding ministry. So once this began to impact the community and there were shortages at the grocery stores and some of our senior adults were anxious, our people sprung into action. And as of what will happen tonight, 1,374 dinners
Wow.
and 1,521 lunches will have been served
Wow.
out of our kitchen with our staff and our volunteers making deliveries. Some of that's pickup. Just a tremendous number. That's 351 dinners per week and 268 lunches per week.
And this is you. This is the people of Northside that we are. People are saying, "What can we do?" I said, "Well, we've got so many volunteers right now. We're really in good shape. Now we know we can call on more, but that's pretty exciting when a church says, "Well, we just now just." But I will tell you this: take care of your neighbor and take care of the ones in your neighborhood that you know that maybe would be better served not to get out during this crisis.
Absolutely.
That's amazing.
Another ministry that typically serves school children during the school year is our Packs of Love.
Yes, it is.
And Beth has continued to keep that ministry going. They have 50 families that they've served, over 140 kids, 100 adults connected to those families. Some of those families have their own resources now, so they're not reaching out to us. But we know that there will be more in the coming days, and so those ministries are strong, doing well.
That is just fantastic. And really, that's the number one need right now. Now, I will tell you that we are anticipating that as this job loss moves forward and other financial things happen, we can expect to have individuals, members of our church and others, that come in that have needs. Let me say this too. Our youth went out and canvassed both sides of west and east of 51 to find individuals who might need this food. As the volunteers go, what they've been able to do is they're discovering the needs beyond that in these families, whether they're church members or not, and they're coming onto our prayer list to pray for them or people involved with their ministry. So it's really looking like a real ministry right there that's strong. Okay.
So one more piece of business. February 5th, we launched a special emphasis offering.
We did.
Trying to raise a large sum of money to continue our next steps in
right.
our building campaign, and we were going to celebrate that in April, and a little before Easter and a little after Easter. We're not able to do that now, but we do have some really good news.
We sure do.
We do.
This is where we need the confetti to fly and the balloons to go.
Because in spite of everything we faced in March, and in spite of not gathering, our church, you have responded, and we have met that goal.
Absolutely.
And
that money is being set aside to take care of that. And it's an amazing thing that's happened through that time. I know there were people wondering, well, how in the world could that happen? Well, God's good. And the people are faithful, and each one did their part. And we still have some outstanding pledges that will maybe come in over time to even get that beyond that. But to know that we met that challenge goal is something really, really special. And I wish we could be together to celebrate it. It'd be so much better. But I just want to thank you. I want to thank you for following in the vision and for being a part of the ministry. Every age group. It's no one age group that has not been so faithful. This was a widespread challenge, and boy, it was met by a widespread group of people.
And it really sets us up well when we start planning for that future and what it's going to look like.
Absolutely.
It's going to be great.
Absolutely.
So one last thing, Pastor. We've started talking internally about what coming back together looks like. And as much as I would love that it be unlock the doors and turn on the lights and fire up the worship team. It's probably not going to look like that. So,
Smaller churches, I think, will go back, many of them medium-sized, before we're able to really look at the scope of our campus, the size of our campus, to try to make sure that we keep everything properly done for that. So we may see some smaller churches meeting, but we're going to do what's best for our people. We don't want to step in there and put any jeopardy for any individual. So we just want you to be patient and to be faithful to what we're doing right now, knowing that as soon as it's safe, we'll begin to open the doors. We're not going to give out like, okay, only 600 can come, and so we'll send you a token and you can get in. We're not, none of that stuff. When we come back, we'll come back. And it will be a time where we can come back into our Bible study units and our worship more than likely. So be patient with us, but at the same time, we hope you'll trust us and support us as we make those decisions in the days to come. It's going to be great, and it's coming.
It is. Thanks for tuning in. Hope this helps you kind of get a feel for where your church is. And, of course, if you have any questions, any more information on any of this, feel free to email me at any time, and I'll be happy to respond to that. Thank you, Pastor.
Thank you, Keith.
You bet. We'll see you soon.
All right.